Hello, YouTube. Thank you again. We coming to you with another couple. So before we get into this today, would you please go ahead and yes, hit that button. Yep. Subscribe. Yeah. And please don't forget to hit that post notification, okay? So you can get that alert. Ring that bell. Ding ding. Okay, so we have another married couple today. We're gonna start off. We have a lot going on. We have a lot to discuss. I have questions again. They have no idea what I'm asking. I'm so excited. So I'm gonna allow them to introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about individual, and then we're gonna jump right into it. So we're gonna let ladies first.
All right, ladies up. All right, everyone. Hello, my name is Jennifer. I am in Atlanta. I am a California Bay Area repping transplant. Currently, this is my husband, married, Gerard. That's all I gotta say.
All right, my name is Gerard. I'm a native Atlanta resigner, I guess. I was born, homegrown. I'm a Georgia boy, so this is me.
All right, so we have Gerard and we have Jennifer. So let's just start. I want to ask a couple of questions. But just tell the people a little about yourself. How long you dated before, and I have to say they are married. How long you dated, you would say roughly before you said I do?
Ooh, I do. All right, I do. Go ahead, Gerard. Tell the story of how I rejected you first.
I didn't say you rejected me. So we met in 2010.
Okay.
I would say personally that we officially started dating in 2011.
Okay.
I'll give you that.
And we got married in 2016.
Okay. All right. So we roughly around at the 10-year mark.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Of knowing each other.
Knowing each
Not
other.
marriage yet.
Okay. Now, how long have you been married?
4 years. Going on 4 years.
Yeah, 4 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so going on 4 years,
Yep.
you dated. All right, so I have to ask. One of my first questions would be, ding ding, y'all know I like the paper, old school.
That's all
All
right.
right, so my first question would be, for the 3+ years you've been married, tell me what has been one of your biggest challenges. And it's a two-sided question. Biggest challenges being married, and have you noticed any difference, because it is an age difference? Not much, but 5 years. So can you tell me what has been your biggest challenge being married, and has it been a challenge having the 5-year age difference? Who want to go first?
I will go first.
Okay.
So a challenge at times.
Okay.
So I think it's a challenge for me when I'm trying to reference certain things that happened in my childhood.
Okay.
Where I'm like, oh no, you were doing that, and I was in 8th grade and he was in 3rd.
Oh, okay.
So stuff like that.
A difference.
Yeah.
Okay.
Being disrespectful.
Oh, you're being disrespectful.
Being disrespectful.
Exactly. You got it right the first time.
Being
No.
disrespectful.
So stuff like that where I'm just
Okay.
like, what do you mean you don't remember the song? We were jamming at the 8th grade dance, and he was like, I was in 3rd grade, and I'm like, that part.
Okay, so that's been a difference.
Yeah, that's
okay.
been a challenge sometimes to be relatable to.
disrespectful.
Okay.
But besides that, that's pretty much the only thing when it comes to age
Okay.
so far.
So with the marriage, what has been the challenging thing far as being individual dating to now you're married and you're living together? And I have to interject this question too and throw this info out there. You have kids prior to marriage.
Yes.
How many?
2.
And you had none prior to marriage.
0.
Okay, so now we're going to throw that in because the question
0.
is also a part of that is, what would you say was challenging far as having kids, bringing someone 5 years younger in, and now you've dated for all these years and now we're married, we're living together, we're
That's a
growing.
lot, right?
Yeah. So what would you say the biggest challenge
With that is,
with all of that? Yes.
well, I still, to this day, feel like he bamboozled me because he told me, oh, I was around kids and I know kids and, I helped raise kids. Being around kids at family functions is a lot different than you actually raising kids. So when he was actually, now we moved in together, and I
Okay.
have my 2 children already previously, and his method in how to parent was very, let me find a not disrespectful word to say, was very fairy tale-ish.
Okay.
So it was like, no, kids aren't supposed to jump on the couch, they're not supposed to spill, and I'm like, who raised, like, they're kids, they do
Right.
stuff, they spill, they break, this is what they do. So
Okay.
getting him acclimated to kids was rough in the beginning.
Okay.
Because he never experienced that day in, day out, day in, day out. It was, again, he, you know, what he told me he was around kids was really family function.
It was different, okay, than having them living in the house.
Yes.
So what would you say, Gerard, was your biggest challenge? Now dating for all these years, now we're married, we're living in the house, I have no kids, I'm going into now being with you with kids, now we're living under the same roof with kids. What was challenging that you would say?
The most challenging thing I think in my relationship is the background cultures that we come from.
Okay,
Like
elaborate.
I said, first, I'm a Georgia boy.
Okay,
She's from California.
okay,
Her outlook on life and just her outlook on life is a lot different than mine.
okay.
Um,
Elaborate that a little bit.
so how can I say this?
Do you think that's different because of the place or city, state she come from? Or
Right. Like, so there's certain things that she would do. Like, cause I'm from Georgia.
Right.
We got whoopings, straight up.
Okay,
Like,
yes.
Yeah. And we got real whoopings. Like, you know, it wasn't no timeout.
Yeah, get that booty.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
that.
It was-
Yeah, we're gonna get that.
So that whole like California, let's talk, timeout.
Okay.
You understand? So that part, I don't think she understands. And then, like I said, I don't want to say, I'm kind of like, I'm barbaric, kind of.
Okay,
Like, you know,
okay.
you know what I'm
Kind
saying? Yeah. So
Okay.
like, I'm not really.
You're like this man, alpha male,
I'm
stern.
not really like. I'm not gonna say an alpha male because you know that terminology gets kind of like broadcasted in like a
Okay.
very like weird.
Yes,
way.
wait, it could be,
Yeah,
yeah.
so
So,
I'm not
you
gonna-
would say just stern in what you believe in, stern in your rules, and when it
Right.
comes to parenting, what I say, this is how it is.
Right. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause
And
that's
I'm
how-
not just the consistency of being able to discipline in a certain way.
Right.
Being consistent with that discipline.
Right.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
so I think that's like our biggest struggle, and that's the struggle to like to this day. You know, I was born in the '80s, so
And you
it's
were
2000.
Right.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying I was born in the '80s in Georgia.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yes.
today the world is a lot different than it was, you know, back then. And like I said, where I come from, like my grassroots is Camilla, Albany, Georgia, so it's
Yes.
it's different. you
Yeah,
know?
it's totally different.
It's different, like
Yes.
the mindset.
Yeah.
You know, it's just certain things that you know that you just don't do, and it's when I tell you don't do it.
You don't do it.
Exactly.
I do.
There's
I don't have to say it again.
Exactly.
The first
See,
time-
You understand? Because she's
No.
from
Yeah,
that background.
Yes.
But see,
See,
kids are gonna be kids.
Right,
You
kids
tell
are
them
gonna
don't
be
do it,
kids.
and they're gonna do
Yeah,
it.
I
Right.
understand that now. And,
Yes.
and you know, reading books and just being in different situations and having these type of conversations with different people. But,
Right.
you know, but you have to learn that, like, because I only know what I've been seeing and what I've been taught through my experiences.
Right. So basically, you're saying I parent. If I'm clear on what I heard, I parent according to how I was brought up until I was introduced to something else from my wife,
Right.
and we kind of took that and we intertwined it to have a balance in our discipline for the kids.
Yeah, but not just discipline, just everything about her background and how she was raised is like polar opposites of mine.
Okay.
The only thing we have in common is we listen to the same music and we happen to be a part of the same culture, color wise. But like, cause like the Bay is different.
So
Like,
let me
it's
say,
very different.
that's going to take me into another question
Yeah.
then. So that question would be, being that you're different, right? but the same. And when I say different but the same, I'm saying you're human. You male, she female, right? So you still the same because we still have the same emotions. You know, we still hurt, we still laugh, we still cry, we still have peace or joy, right? As humans, right? So with that being said, the challenges that you had in the marriage to the kids. Now, she came in with 2 and then you didn't have any. So how did that balance out for you having? Did you want kids?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yes.
I always wanted kids.
Okay. So wanting kids, did it matter if it was a boy, girl?
Of course.
Yes.
I mean, I wanted both, but I had to have a boy.
Okay.
I have to have, carry my legacy. I'm a barbarian, so it's like, I gotta have my seed, and it came down to the point where like every guy has this, every guy has this time where he wants a son. Like, it's just
what it is.
Yeah, like I can't explain it. If I get a girl, I'm happy.
Right.
But I really, really want a son to show him all the things that, I was taught, and to show him different things, and just,
Okay, so, and I'm going somewhere with this question, right? So being a Black male, having a Black wife, and having a Black son in this time, and I really want to just touch on this brief. I'm not going to go in depth in this. Do you ever feel fear or any bad ill will having a Black son in this time, day and age, with everything that's going on with race and, do you ever think about it having these a son, because you have 2 sons, hers, and then the collective blended family. So all together, guys, they have 4 kids, 2 girls,
2 boys.
and she had 1 girl, 1 boy, and now they have boy and girl together. So 4 kids together. So having 2 males, or even having the 2 girls, because they still girls. A lot of things happen to us as Black women when it comes to race and being disrespected.
Well, I don't, it's weird. I actually, I fear for the boys more than I do the girls. But, and I'm not saying that I'm not gonna say fear.
Right.
It's more like a caution type thing. It's
right.
more like caution, because I don't even want them to even know what daddy emotion. I understand that that's, it's a human emotion and they're gonna understand what that is, but I really don't want to put that on them, like fear or, or self-doubt or anything like that. Now, I am cautious now. just being a Black male, or just being Black, period. Because right now, I can't even say
that is different.
Because I can't even say that right now.
But I'm just saying, you being a male, speaking from a male perspective. Like, do you ever think about it, even for yourself and your kids, as a male walking out your house and being the provider for your wife and your children?
Yeah, it's a weird space. So, and I think about this to myself. I never really talk about this, but I really think about this to myself. It's really hard, really hard being just a man. Like, I tell my son this all the time. I tell him, I said, the hardest thing you ever gonna have to do in life is be a man. It's the hardest thing you're gonna ever have to do. Because
now, is that just a man or a Black man?
And that makes it worse. It makes it hard. I'm not gonna say worse, but it makes it harder.
Right.
And it's crazy, because it's like just the thought, the idea of a man is provider, protector. It's just stability.
Right.
It's like constant. It's constant stability. It's stability, 365, 24 hours, 7 days a week. That's really. It's really, really that's a weird space.
Right. So with that being said, going into my next question, because that's what that's coasting me into, y'all, I like to ride that way. So we're going to ride this one. So the next question was, how would you describe, in however many words, phrase, or sentence, your husband? Good, bad, or indifferent, positive or negative. How would you describe your wife from the time you met her, the growth? It's like a so many part question. From the time you met her to the things when you just start figuring out what you like and disliked about her, to almost 10 years later to today, whatever the date is, June something.
20th.
Yes,
20th.
that day.
17th was yesterday.
Yes. What would you say?
I'm going first. Would I describe her?
Yeah. Well, how would you describe her as a person? So if I was a stranger and I walked up to you and I seen her, I'd be like, oh, she just seems so beautiful and she's so peaceful. Can you describe her to me? Tell me something about her. If you had to tell me anything about her, good or bad or whatever, how would you describe her? You need to think about it. You want
like, okay, so.
He's like, wait, what element is this?
Yeah, like am I describing her to like as a friend, as a wife,
as a person,
as a person? Okay.
Good, bad, wife, person, mother, all of that.
Okay.
Because all of that comes with me being who I am as a person.
Okay, so I would say my wife is a strong Black woman. As a person, she's kind-hearted. She as far as a mother, now that's when she's very, very, very cautious.
Okay.
Very cautious. And she's like 2-part calculated and then not. Like, so she has like a status quo.
Okay.
But that can change sometimes.
Okay.
And it's up to her discretion when that changes.
Is it good or bad or just?
I mean, it can be.
Okay,
I mean,
just
it
depends.
depends. Yeah, it depends
Okay.
on the situation. Like,
Okay.
So I would say she's like spontaneous.
Okay. Do you think being spontaneous helps the marriage?
Yes and no. Yes and no. It's bad.
Okay.
There's bad spontaneous things like
Okay, such as?
a new recipe.
What's wrong with the new recipe?
I'm just saying, like sometimes we go left.
Don't come out good.
I'm
You
left-handed.
can't keep on eating the same thing over and over. It's just
Yeah, I know,
not
but it's I mean, some of these things have
because
turned
I
out
bring
to
him,
be
I
good.
bring
Though.
him in on the recipe.
Okay.
This is what we're
You know,
doing. We're gonna do it together.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
that's
Well,
what
that's
it
That's not really how it goes, but okay.
is. In my head.
Yeah, that's not, and that's another thing. So like, she has these conversations
Right.
with herself,
Okay.
and for some reason, she thinks she's included me, but we have not talked about this at all.
Oh.
And she thinks mentioning something is equivalent to talking. But that's marriage, so you guys will never see that part of her. Like no one will know that but me.
Okay. All right.
So
But that's overall, though, describing her, right?
yeah, that's part of spontaneous. Those conversations.
Okay.
That's part of being spontaneous.
What are we having for dinner tonight? New recipe, right?
New recipe.
Yeah.
So, you guys, basically what I heard is get your new cookbook.
I mean, it's not bad.
It's
All
fine.
it's not bad. It's
It's
not
fine,
bad.
right?
It's
Yeah.
just different. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Sometimes it's like, what are we doing?
Macaroni and cheese surprise.
No, she don't do
wait,
stuff like
wait.
that. But sometimes she just,
Do something different.
right.
Right. How would you describe Gerard if you had to?
Calculated.
Oh my gosh.
You can't describe yourself. It's my turn.
Cannot. Her turn.
Sensitive,
Okay.
Oh yeah, of course.
loving,
Aw.
demanding.
Okay.
I don't agree with that.
Of course you
Yeah,
would.
right. Of course you wouldn't. Husband. I'm able to communicate. That's like my number one thing.
Mhm.
I'm able to communicate regardless of what he's gonna say or his outcome or what I think he's gonna
Okay.
say. I'm still gonna speak my mind and communicate that to him. Now, if he's receptive or not, that's a whole nother thing. But
Okay.
he allows me to communicate with him.
Okay,
So that's important.
so let me ask this. So how do you deal with disagreements? So if it's something that you really, really want to do, right?
Yeah.
Really bad.
She just
Yeah.
do it. Just do it. Ask for an apology. She'll give me an apology later, but she don't do it. Like
So that's the thing. Like, when we first got together,
Right.
he was terrible, like the worst. If we got in an argument, he's gonna hold on to that for about 2 solid weeks 2 solid weeks.
Okay.
So finally, I know quarantine has been terrible, but it's been a blessing for us just because we've been home with the kids so often. And I have to tell him and remind him, you don't want to be quarantined with me upset. Let's just talk about it, get over it, and keep it moving.
That's
so,
when she did something, y'all. Not when I did something.
When you do something.
When I told you the spontaneous.
Okay, that's what happened.
Part of that. That's
It
part
changes.
of that deal.
Right.
That is not how it goes on this side, but that's how it goes on her side. But
So it works. So, it's been working. Right.
For her.
So, balance.
That's a nice balance.
So, do you think there's a nice balance when it comes to doing what you want prior to him doing what he wants? Do you think it's a balance?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. We're conscious of each other's time.
Okay.
So, like, for instance, if I know the house is asleep, then I'll go. He would prefer for me to be home when the kids are up so we can kind of get this household together.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So what I'll try and do is go at times either later at night or when I get off, when I was working in the office, when I get off before everybody's at home, everybody's at school or stuff like that. So I try and find the balance in that to try and make it a team effort and not just like a lone man, show. So sometimes there's balance. Sometimes it's like, hey, I can't do anything about that. It is what it is. You're going to have to hold it down.
What was the question again? Because she started talking about time.
Okay, I'm going to the next question.
Balance. We can talk about balance. Balance is, in this house, is how much I'm willing to take before I crack.
Yes.
That is balance.
Yeah, see how that works? How much can I throw on him before he starts acting
crazy
like a man?
So, you feel like, I'm asking, so do you feel like it's not balanced, or you do more until, or you just feel like you just speaking, saying that's just what it is, but you're okay with that?
I'm okay with it to a certain point because, like, both of us are very strong-willed.
Okay.
And that's one thing. So we kind of like.
So how do you compromise?
So we take L's.
Okay.
Straight up. I'm not
Okay.
gonna
So
lie.
you do compromise.
Sometimes
because you know you're both strong-willed.
Right. So it's some things that you just don't have to take an L on.
Right. Okay.
And it's like, if I really want to do something, she's not gonna stop me.
Right.
Like if I really, but I gotta really want it.
Right, but is it something that you would really want that you would just do it and then knowing that it would hurt her?
No. I would never compromise her.
Okay. So that's the difference then.
Right.
Okay, so I just needed you to elaborate on that. That you wouldn't just do it knowing that deliberately I can do it, but it's gonna hurt her.
No, I would never compromise the house.
Okay.
I would never compromise the house.
Right. Okay.
I'll touch the fire before anybody else will.
I got you. Oh.
And I touch the
Don't
fire.
get burned, baby.
You got a firefighter. Ladies.
Put it out.
Ladies who's single, y'all better get y'all a firefighter, honey. He got that hose. He gonna make sure you do not get burnt.
3rd degree, ain't no joke.
You'll be all right. Let me cool you down.
70% right now.
Oh, that is so sweet. Okay, so I have one more question. My last question. I always ask. I have to ask this question. Being married, having 4 kids, and what are the kids' ages?
17, 10, 7, and 2.
What do you do to keep the excitement, the romance, the passion going at your age, the 5-year difference, having 4 kids at that age, and everything else going on? How do you keep the spice there? How do you keep the excitement there?
Well, that's pretty much a lot on me. He's terrible at making any kind of date plans or anything like that, or trips or anything like that. So I usually take initiative and say, hey, you want to go have a date, you want to go out, you want to go hang out, and stuff like that. So we just do it and we just make time for it. So it might only be like once or twice a month, but that's enough.
It's going.
There's 4 children.
Okay.
She told you the ages.
Okay.
Our house is a constant 6-part, Six Flags Grand Adventure. They try to put water slides in the kitchen Like, spontaneous
Yes.
is an understatement in this
Okay.
house. I will
Okay.
come downstairs in a trail of anything.
Dinosaurs.
Literally anything.
Yep.
They kids.
Yeah.
So,
it's like,
how do you fight beyond that to say, you know what? I want that QT with my wife. We got to make some stuff happen.
Or we just wait until everybody goes to bed.
Yeah,
And it's like,
okay.
put on a movie.
I got you.
Yeah.
So you have to have that balance, you think.
yeah, I mean,
With
it's-
everything else going on in the house, work, COVID,
Yeah.
everything else, kids,
Well-
how do you keep the spark there to say when she cooking, you looking at her like, oh my gosh, she's so
I mean,
sexy.
yeah, we do that. We do that
How
all
do
the time.
you keep that
No, we
thing
do that.
popping?
We do that.
Yes?
So,
Do you compliment?
yeah, every day.
All the time.
You
He
compliment?
does.
Yes?
He does.
Okay,
Yeah. He
okay.
compliments a lot.
Yeah,
That's one
every
thing
day.
I'm like, oh, okay, well, thank you. I ain't got no eyebrows on today, but all right, thank you, baby.
Yeah, it's text messaging.
Okay.
I send her stuff on Instagram all the time. We do a lot of, it's a lot of stuff, but like just like the date night thing.
Yes.
The kids wanted to do it for us the other night. They're like, we'll go in our
Kids.
rooms, we'll cook something for you and daddy just
It
come down
sounds
here and hang
good,
out.
but in reality, that
don't
would
play out.
never happen.
That way. That's smooth.
Never,
No.
ever. So I don't even entertain it.
It was a nice gesture.
Yeah, it was
Nice
nice stuff,
gesture.
but it was.
that is sweet.
It's a fairy tale.
Okay, so intimacy is not only about the physical aspect of it. Intimacy is, I'm just thinking about you. I'm about to text her, hey love, I'm just sitting here thinking about you, your sexy self.
I do that.
You know, that's intimacy.
But that's all you'll do though.
Right, so once you do that,
We need more. We always
but
need more.
intimacy is also, look, okay, I'm about to give you a day at the spa. She don't know about it. I'm gonna pay for it. I'm gonna take the kids. Only thing she has to do is show up. I have an appointment. I'm gonna text her and say, hey, go to this location. Don't worry about picking up the kids. Don't back talk me. Just go for one time. Don't have to be smart by the mouth. And I got everything else. Don't worry about it. You'll figure it out once you get there. I love you. Blah, blah. That's a form of intimacy. That's a form of making love. It's not all about, oh, you got to be rubbing all over me all the time, but rev my engine. And my engine revving is not... my engine revving is not all about
idle.
you physically.
Right.
Right. It's
Yes.
the small things that you do
Yes.
to keep her engaged and interested in date night and hanging out and having fun. Taking me to dinner all the time is just, it get boring after a
I'm
while.
gonna eat anyways.
Right, go home and go to sleep.
I don't want chocolates. I don't want a teddy bear. I
Right.
don't want
No, she
balloons.
like gummy bears.
Okay, but that was like 10 years ago. You can't keep on getting me the same gummy bears every
Right.
holiday. Like,
It's about figuring out in the process of what she likes. You, like you say, you learning individually. I'm learning me. Collectively, I'm learning you. And now I have to see the likes and the dislikes. What turns you on besides the physical aspect of it? What else do you like that we're going to keep the thrill and the excitement in our marriage? And it's not all about you spending money all the time. Right? Because it could be
Right.
the small things.
Right.
It could
we
be
just get in the car and ride.
right. Hey,
And
love.
that's 15
You know what?
minutes
Today
riding.
I just need some quality time, one on time.
This
Cause
all sounds nice.
right.
But let's jump a little bit closer
Okay,
to
let's
reality.
jump. What's reality?
Number one,
Okay.
let's talk about the spa.
Okay.
That would be an option
Okay.
if she wasn't allergic to everything.
What? Who's allergic?
I'm gonna tell you how this could possibly go. It could work out. We went to the spa before.
Okay. Without you though, we're talking about.
No, I'm just saying.
Okay. Okay.
You know,
You went
they
to the
put
spa.
They put some non-organic oil on her. She broke out.
No,
You know
it
what
was
I'm saying?
because the lady was scrubbing me. My skin
you
too
see what I'm
hot.
saying? You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So you see how the nice day could turn into a rash?
Okay.
Literally. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, well, then
So
you
hold
have-
on. Let me
Okay. Go
back up a
ahead.
little bit.
Go ahead.
With her,
Okay.
the spontaneous, let's talk about it a little bit.
Okay.
What is fun on Monday necessarily isn't fun on Tuesday.
Because the weight of the household on Tuesday is overbearing. So sometimes you have to take that weight off of me and allow me to enjoy Tuesday.
Yes.
Sometimes she doesn't enjoy Monday enjoyment because it's Tuesday. I
Okay.
don't like that all the time.
Okay, so
Sometimes I just don't want that. So, with this,
Because it gets boring. You
It's
want to
not-
be
listen,
Monday, Tuesday,
no,
Wednesday, Thursday,
no,
Friday, Saturday,
no.
enjoy same stuff. No,
If
I don't
we-
want to do that.
listen,
you have to
If it was
keep
Taco
the
Tuesday
balance
last
there.
Tuesday,
Yes.
that's fine.
Listen,
but this Tuesday, I don't
no.
want it to be Taco Tuesday again.
Listen.
I want to do
But
Spaghetti Tuesday.
but if you like something, you like it.
Right.
So, if somebody loves crab legs,
Yes, I do.
does it matter when you eat them?
No, every day I can.
It does.
No, Gerard.
It does. This is what I'm telling you. So,
Well,
it-
let me say,
listen,
I agree because some days I
Right.
don't feel like cracking the shit.
Like I said.
So if I
It's like
can
too
get
much
them,
going in, so
yeah,
some days you're like,
yes.
let's go.
If I can
Let's
get the
pound.
de-shelled,
have you ever
what?
turned down crabs because you didn't want to crack the shell?
You
Yes,
might have not ate as many.
yeah,
You turned
See?
down crabs when you
because
didn't
I
want
didn't feel like going through, you know.
See how unreasonable that is?
Yeah,
It
some
makes
days
sense.
it
You're
does.
marrying a human being. This is my point. Make sure you understand that concept.
Yes.
Because what they're saying right now
Is what?
makes perfect sense
Yeah.
in their
Yeah.
head. Like
I
I
see the
said,
problem.
we're moving linear and they're changing course.
Yes. Because we're women.
Have you? I've never in my life seen somebody say, you know what? I really enjoy crab legs, but today I just don't feel like it. I've never
Yeah.
heard
It's a
that.
lot of work that
It
goes
is.
into eating crabs. So
Unless
no, I
you
don't want
bind
that
them
every day.
de-shelled.
You know what?
Some
I
days.
don't want to drive the Rolls Royce today because the door's heavy. I'd rather get in the
It's about
Chevy
convenience.
Cruise.
Yeah, and ride out.
Yes.
What's the problem?
Yes.
You
That
gotta get in
will
the
never
cruise.
happen.
Yes, if I
That will never happen. Listen to me. You see how this works? We're moving this way, and they just decide to make a picture. It don't make
Again,
sense.
I don't see the problem.
Okay, so what I said all that to say, you have to have that thing
Of course.
that
And I don't
pulls
disagree.
your mate in, right? To make it romantic and intimate, and it doesn't necessarily all the time have to be about the aspect of sex. So, if you had to tell the viewers about getting married, being single, finding that significant other, because I totally believe a man that finds a wife finds a good thing. I totally believe that God is the head of that house. I believe the man and then the woman. Agree or disagree?
I agree.
Agree?
Agree.
Okay. So, any advice that you would give to say as a man why you chose to finalize your relationship with your girlfriend to make her your wife? And what would you say to say yes to his proposal to be his husband? What was that thing to say, you know what, we're going to do this for this reason? What would you tell the viewers that's positive if that's something they're on the crossroad about?
It was a couple things for me.
Okay.
So for me, I had to find my own value
Okay.
and know my worth and know what I'm able and capable of bringing to the table.
Okay.
Because without that, we couldn't become one.
Gotcha.
So a lot of people try and find, a husband who's going to build them up and uplift them, but what are they bringing to the table first?
Okay.
So that was like my number one thing. And then as coming together as one and becoming a union, it was making sure that this is my friend. And that regardless, together, not together, co-parenting, whatever, we are friends.
Okay.
That was very important to me.
Friendship. Okay. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Friendship on her. What's yours?
I would say that. I would agree with her and say friendship. I would also say communication was a huge part.
Communication.
And I don't know what the word is, but to kind of like, what's the word? To put yourself in someone else's shoes. I think that's really important.
Having the empathy and being
As far as
I
understanding
don't,
me.
Yeah.
just to try to understand, because it's like I said, like we come from two different backgrounds.
seeing
So
it from that person's perspective.
right, and just to be intelligent enough to be able to even try to do that.
Right.
So like to say, like I know how this works in my head,
Right.
but let's try to see, what it looks like coming from her and all the elements that comes with that.
So I see it. It's my vision that I see.
Right.
But now I want to put it in action to see if we can make it manifest in the flesh.
Yeah.
Okay. So you had all these things in your head and you had it in your heart and you say, you know what, let me propose. Is that how it went?
Nah.
Okay. So that's my question.
So why did I propose?
Yes, what made you say I want to spend the rest of my life with her?
Because I felt like she would be the best partner. Like
Partner.
Right. So
Okay.
she's really good at like.
That's a good thing.
Schedule.
Partnership. That's
Yeah,
good. Partnership.
because I was
Schedule.
about to say that's a good one. You
She's
said
very. It's kind of like calculated, but not. She's very good at planning. That's just a woman thing. I think that's just a female
right, organized.
gift. Not really organized, just planning.
Right, but you have to be organized to be able to plan.
But when
right?
I say like plan, like contingency plans, like y'all got like 7.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean?
And I'm gonna have to
and
give
guys
myself
don't
that.
have
For him, he'll have plan A and that's it.
B,
Oh, I got you. So
maybe B.
we always think about A, B, C, D. When
E, F,
this,
G,
yeah,
H, I, J,
this
like,
don't work.
she'll
That
have-
doesn't happen.
She'll have like backup plans to the backup plan to the backup plan. To the backup
Okay.
plan.
So basically, you know, if she plans something, it's going to be dependable and solid.
I'm not gonna say
Unless
like,
God just allows something else to intervene. But
I'm not
you
gonna
know
say
that her
that.
word is bond. If she says she's going to do it to plan it.
Yeah, she'll do that, but I'm just
Okay.
saying like she won't abandon ship all the time. You know what I mean? But like she won't abandon ship,
Okay.
and it's kind of like you
Ride or
know,
die. I got you.
in some aspects.
Right.
I'm not gonna say
Oh
that
my
because she
gosh.
will jump ship.
I love how you keep on putting the little
Yes,
little asterisk
I'm
on
like-
everything. Everything has an
Listen,
asterisk.
let me tell people. Listen, let me tell people. This.
Everything has an asterisk.
Let me tell people this. I'm gonna be honest. This is the most honest thing you'll ever hear in your life.
It's
I
okay.
wanna
let's
hear.
see,
When
let's
you're
see.
getting married,
Yes.
realize that you're getting married to a human being.
Yes. That has
You're
mistakes
getting,
and
you're
errors.
getting
and not
married to a
perfect.
human being.
Yes.
Okay, what does that mean? What, I'm an alien? Like,
No,
I don't
I'm
get
not
it.
saying that. I'm just
Oh.
saying she's a human being.
Which means,
She
if
don't
I
do
heard
stuff.
clearly,
Right.
She's going to do things.
exactly, nobody's perfect.
And she's not going to be able to explain all of them. She's just going to do them. And you got to understand that. That's the most, I think that's, you know what? I think that's what guys,
Right?
because I know like the dudes that I associate myself with,
Yes.
very calculated. Like we're very linear.
Okay.
And in my short time here on this earth, women not all the time linear. You know, they go vertical sometimes. So yeah, so like,
I'm gonna be honest.
we moving like this, and she just might start going like, whoa, what are we doing? We're supposed to be over here, but we said we were going here.
Yes.
You know, she might just detour.
But you should have answered the question.
But what's the question? Which one? Which one?
I'm about to
Wow.
get my right. Right. See, there you go.
Which question? Why am there?
Uh,
I answered that already.
Oh, okay. But then
Yes.
you took it to like the
No, I'm just saying, like, because, you know, people got to realize that, like, you're marrying a human being.
yes. All jokes aside, you're marrying another person
Yeah.
that have all the emotions that you or not, because some people are introverts, some people are extroverts, some people are very talkative all the time, some people are quiet and laid back and don't really say anything unless necessary. So you do have different personalities that you end up intertwining with, but in the long run, to make it solid, you find, agree or disagree, people that you can coast. When you say I do, I'm coasting the rest of this thing out with you. And you're a great partner with the qualities that I prefer to coast this wave on out until we die, right?
Right.
So it's basically finding that person that you felt each other, that you found the person that, hey, I like her qualities, he like my qualities, this and that it hooked me enough, right? That I'm willing to just ride it on out. Pull me in, we done. We're gonna marry and just ride it out. So you basically said, this is why I did it, because I found a partner that I could live the rest of my life with.
Right.
And I was a man about it and not just have the cow getting the milk for free. And
free, baby.
right. We're gonna get rid of this cow, y'all.
I don't even understand that.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Right.
So you decided to put a ring on it. You married, been married for years, have beautiful 4 kids, amazing. And I want to say thank you, you guys, for your time. I really appreciate it. The love and being open in your truth of your marriage, your life, your personal. I really appreciate it. So YouTube, you know, I like them comments. Please comment if you have any questions you want to ask, or, you know, just anything with dialect that you want to talk about. Just leave a comment. We can do this. I appreciate your time again. Please ring that bell, subscribe, and thank you for tuning in.